Hello there, in this video we will be reacting to what if the Citadel rescue mission in the Clone Wars failed. This Star Wars What If is made by the Star Wars Galaxy, and you can find a link to his channel and to the original video down below in the description of this video. Remember to subscribe to me as well, as we're trying to reach 1,000 subscribers, and without further ado, let's get right into the reacting.
Our story begins on the planet Lola Sayu, the home world to the separatist prison known as the Citadel, a prison constructed to hold Republic prisoners, but mainly captured Jedi, and the most recent prisoner was Jedi Master Even Piell. It was becoming more and more rare for Jedi to be captured alive as the war dragged on. Most of the time, Dooku or Grievous would order the immediate execution of any Jedi that were beaten in battle, but Master Piell had valuable information that the separatists needed him alive to get. Master Piell, along with Captain Tarkin, both had memorized half of the coordinates to the Hyperspace Nexus route, a hyperspace route that led right into the homeworlds of the Separatist leadership on Raxus and Sereno, along with the Republic homeworlds of Coruscant. Essentially, whichever side had these coordinates would have access to a route that could escalate the end of this war immediately. For the key figureheads of this war, mainly Palpatine, this was actually a wrench in his plans. The Nexus route coordinates were hidden even from him, but Even Piell and his crew managed to buy the coordinates off of some high-level smugglers in the Outer Rim. Palpatine was worried that Piell would tell the Council of these coordinates, and the Jedi might launch a devastating attack that could ruin all of his plans for furthering the war. So Palpatine secretly organized the CIS fleet that ambushed Piell and his men, forcing the data to these routes to be destroyed and memorized, and should these coordinates ever reach Coruscant, they would now be delivered directly to him instead of to the Council. But
that's a sick image of Even Piell and Tarkin.
Back on Lola Sayu, Even Piell would never get the chance to deliver these coordinates back to Coruscant. Piell was killed by a group of Anuba hounds sent after them, and he managed to whisper the coordinates to Ahsoka.
I gotta be honest, that was kind of underwhelming. Council Master getting killed by goddamn wolves. Like, come on, man.
Right before his death. But even after Piell's death, the rest of the group was waiting on the evacuation area, as Plo Koon and his rescue squad was supposed to arrive any minute. The remaining members of this team on Lola Sayu were Anakin Skywalker, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Ahsoka Tano, Fives, Rex, Cody, Tarkin, and other clone troopers still fighting here. As they waited, the warden...
That was a really sick arc, though. Like, I love that episode and this arc with the prison.
O.C. Sobek and a squad of commando droids flew in on speeders, firing down at them, disrupting their escape. But the Jedi knew they just had to hold out until Plo Koon arrives. But up in space, 4 Republic Venators would arrive above the planet. Master Sazitin took off in a Jedi starfighter with a large squadron of clone fighters, and their mission was to guide Plo Koon and his LAAT gunship down to the surface. But they were too late. They fell right into a trap. General Grievous's fleet had been nearby, and Grievous heard of the attack on the Citadel. While waiting for orders, Grievous decided to take things into his own hands for once, launching the Invisible Hand and his personal fleet to Lola Sayu. Just minutes after Sazitin and Plo Koon took off on their rescue mission, Grievous's fleet arrived behind the Republic fleet, catching them by surprise. Vulture droids and Tri-Fighters were quickly launched out of the CIS hangars, and Grievous himself took off into the igniting battle, and it would be devastating for the Republic. As they were working to get their 4 Venators turned around, they were torn apart by the might of Grievous's fleet. Thousands of clones blinked out in a matter of minutes. Sazitin told Plo Koon that he was on his own, and Sazi turned his squad toward the hundreds of Separatist fighter ships coming their way. Sazi would fight mightily, but every second, more clones were screaming out as they were shot out of space. Before long, Sazi was the lone member of his squad remaining, and he too would have his ship explode in the cold vacuum of space. Plo Koon would use the Force in the LAT gunship to try and guide the pilot through the Separatist defense fleet over the planets. They would be successful in avoiding the planet cannons, but...
Okay, I'm sorry, but... okay, they get to the surface. What the fuck are they gonna do? Like, how do I get... They're cooked. They're done for.
Plo would open his eyes in horror as he felt Grievous arrive right behind them. A series of perfect shots from Grievous' starfighter lit up the gunship, and Plo Koon died in an explosion as Grievous laughed at this coming victory. Back down on the planet, O.C. Sobek...
We lost Sazitin, one council member. We lost Even Piell on the planet, another council member. And it was Plo Koon, another council member. And Plo Koon, for goddammit, he's literally the GOAT.
Was picking up Captain Tarkin, preparing to kill him. Ahsoka ran in behind Sobek, going to save Tarkin. But then everyone turned to the sky as Fives shouted out that it appears their rescue team is here, but Obi-Wan's stomach twisted as the ships coming down to the surface came into view. This was no rescue team. As Ahsoka was right about to kill Sobek, a Separatist bomber flew overhead, dropping a series of bombs right next to her. Ahsoka, Tarkin, and Sobek were caught in the blast, flying all around the rocks, crashing hard to the ground. Anakin yelled out in despair, running over to Ahsoka. He got to her and Tarkin at the same time. Both were extremely weak, and they forced Anakin to lean down. Both Ahsoka and Tarkin would force Anakin to memorize their halves of the Nexus route coordinates.
Great.
Anakin memorized them, and he told them that he will get them out of here. But then Grievous's starfighter flew overhead, firing down on his position. Anakin blocked one of the blasts, but the others hit the ground next to him, and Anakin flew backwards, his head slamming into a sharp rock. His head was ringing, vision fading in and out. He was bleeding heavily.
Great, Anakin is knocked out. Ahsoka and Tarkin about to die. Kenobi's left. Great.
From the back of his head, and he could barely comprehend the horrors of what was going on in front of him. Fives and Cody were firing up at the speeders and Separatist starfighters when 4 commando droids snuck up behind them, stabbing Cody and Fives with vibroblades.
No! Fives and Cody, not them, man. Come on.
The 2 clones fell dead.
Oh,
Rex yelled
God.
out in anger, firing at the commando.
Rex is... No, please don't kill Rex as well. Please don't.
Taking out 3 of them, but another managed to leap forward
No.
and kick Rex to the ground
Please
before
don't.
firing right through his helmet. Obi-Wan Kenobi hijacked a droid speeder. He flew around, taking out a couple vulture droids
Please don't take any more from me, man.
came
Please.
from the clouds with his lightsaber, and as he flew around the evacuation zone, his stomach twisted again. He looked to the ground. It was littered with bodies. Crab droids were filling the rock,
Dude.
ensuring everyone was dead. As Obi-Wan saw Anakin bleeding on the ground, he froze, and Grievous took the opportunity to fire upon the speeder.
No.
It exploded, and Kenobi crashed hard into the rock below, sliding to the edge of it. And on the rocky ground,
Literally, what are they supposed to do? Oh my god.
Anakin tried getting to his feet as he watched Grievous land with a small battle droid ship
They're dead.
behind him.
They're dead.
But Anakin's head injury was so bad that he stumbled back to the ground. He saw Grievous lift up both Ahsoka and Tarkin with one hand, and with his other hands, he stabbed them both,
Oh
throwing
my
them over
God.
the edge. Anakin mumbled in pain,
Oh
anger, and Grievous stalked
my
over
God.
to him, kicking Anakin right in the face as he was officially knocked out cold. Everyone here had fallen dead or was captured. In space, the rescue team, including Plo Koon and Saesee Tiin, was ripped apart. The Citadel mission was a complete
My
failure.
God.
The defense blockade was now
Oh, this is fucking insane, this is.
being held by Grievous's fleet, making another rescue mission basically impossible. Hours later, Anakin Skywalker would slowly open his eyes as the vague memories were flooding back to him, and he was filled with despair. He was being held in a containment field restraint system, the same type that Even Piell was in when he was rescued. Anakin's arms were above his head, his legs held in place. He wondered why he was kept alive, and before long, the doors slid open as Grievous himself stomped into the room,
great.
telling Anakin he's long been awaiting their meeting. Anakin didn't speak, so Grievous continued, telling Anakin that he saw Ahsoka and Tarkin whisper to him before they died at his hand. Grievous laughed, coughing as he recalled
God's
stabbing
sake.
both of them. He told Anakin that he can only assume that he now has both halves of the Nexus route coordinates in his mind. Grievous then pushed a button on the side of the containment device. Anakin was electrocuted for 10 excruciating seconds
Great.
before Grievous stopped it.
Anakin, bro, like, what do you even do in this situation? I don't know.
Telling Anakin that he will get to live if he gives him these coordinates.
Kenobi? No, he
Anakin
won't.
spit blood out of his mouth, telling Grievous he'll die before he gives up the coordinates. Grievous laughed, electrocuted Anakin again, and he told the Jedi that he will talk in due time. Grievous would leave the cell, with 4 Magna Guards stationed in here, just watching over the weak Anakin. And when he was gone, Anakin allowed himself to remember it all. Rex, Cody, Fives, and the other clones gutted or shot dead by the commandos. Obi-Wan seemingly shot dead from the speeder that he was on. Ahsoka and Tarkin stabbed and thrown into the lava by Grievous. It was horrific, and Anakin could do nothing about it.
Nah, did they throw him in lava as well? Fucking...
He thought about R2, likely spare parts on the rock now.
Oh,
He was so
God.
angry, furious, sad. He wanted nothing more than to rip Grievous apart piece by piece. And deep in the Citadel, Grievous would enter into the main room as the warden, O.C. Sobek, told Grievous that Dooku was contacting them. Grievous answered, expecting high praise from Dooku, but instead, Dooku demanded to know what Grievous was thinking. Grievous knew that his mission to the Citadel was unauthorized. He heard about the attack through Separatist channels, and he took
Okay.
things into his own hands. He came away extremely victorious, Jedi and clones alike all dead, the Nexus route coordinates still alive, and soon to be in his hands. And yet, Dooku was appearing as a hologram, extremely angry, for reasons
Why?
Grievous couldn't yet understand. For Dooku, the Citadel mission was meant to ensure that Tarkin and Anakin remained alive. They were both vital for Palpatine's further plans, but Grievous didn't know any of that. He was a foolish excuse for a man, and Dooku scolded Grievous for his insubordination.
Oh, and Tarkin's dead. Anakin isn't.
saying he will be coming to Lola Sayu himself to deal with the aftermath of this. The message ended, and Grievous was furious. He didn't tell Dooku that Anakin was still alive. Grievous decided, in this moment, that he was done listening to Dooku. He just accomplished what no one else in the entire CIS would have been able to accomplish. And from here, he would take down the Republic himself, he decided.
Wow, okay.
Grievous used his comms, asking his droids if the second cell was ready yet, and when Grievous heard the good news, he moved back down to the cell block to get the coordinates from Anakin, and back in the cell.
Wait, second cell for what? Is he gonna try to fuck over Dooku or something?
Anakin Skywalker was still numb in his anger and despair when the doors slid back open and Grievous stalked back down. He told Anakin that he has one more chance to give up the coordinates. Anakin just stared at Grievous with pure hatred. Grievous said, so be it, motioning toward the side wall. It was replaced with a window, and Anakin's eyes went wide as he saw that Obi-Wan Kenobi was here, still alive, and he too was being held in a similar containment field. Both of them locked eyes, and Grievous told Anakin that he's been studying him for a long time. It's no secret that Anakin's connections to those that he loves are what give him purpose. Grievous faked apologies for what happened to Ahsoka and the clones, but he told Anakin he can keep Obi-Wan alive. All he has to do is give up the coordinates. Obi-Wan weakly lifted his head, and he told Anakin not to do it. A commando droid immediately activated the containment field. Obi-Wan screamed out in pain as the electricity began coursing through the field and into his body. Anakin watched Obi-Wan screaming out in pain, agony, limbs spasming, his body failing. Anakin yelled at Grievous to stop this, and Grievous just told Anakin that only he has the power to put a stop to it. Anakin closed his eyes, but the sound of Obi-Wan screaming out still filled his ears. He thought of all the innocent people on Coruscant, of Padme, but still, he couldn't bear the sight and sound of this any longer. He yelled out that he will give Grievous the coordinates. Kenobi's field was shut down. He fell to the floor, cuffs placed behind his back. Obi-Wan was barely alive, but still he was breathing. Anakin sighed with a touch of relief, and he knew he had no choice. He looked to Grievous, and he listed off the memorized coordinates. Grievous quickly had them verified, and when they worked, he called Anakin a foolish...
Wait, since Grievous says he's gonna take this... He's gonna, like, assemble the Separatist fleet and just fucking use the core and just go straight to Coruscant. Oh my god.
Jedi, telling him that he will die in here, but he's given himself and Obi-Wan some extra time before that death finds him, as Grievous has other things to attend to. With the coordinates directly to Coruscant in his grasp, Grievous had a new plan in mind. He was done with Dooku and Sidious.
He's gonna do exactly what I said. He's gonna go straight to Coruscant with his own fleet and fuck Coruscant completely over.
Even know who Sidious was, but Grievous had proven to himself that he was an elite commander of this army, and with these coordinates in his grasp, he could win the war today. But first, he needed Dooku out of the way. He entered the main room of the Citadel and stabbed Osi Sobek through the back, killing the warden instantly, and then he gave all of the droids here the same assignment. Fill the entire lower level of the Citadel with detonators. When Dooku arrives, there will be a surprise waiting for him. And so, as the droids were lining up the generator rooms and lower levels with detonators, Dooku was flying through hyperspace. Anakin was waiting desperately for Obi-Wan to wake up. The Jedi Council was gathered on Coruscant to discuss the failure on the Citadel, and yet there was one final hope on the planet. When Grievous attacked, R2-D2 had his rocket engines hit by a droid blast, and R2 lost control as he flew away, landing in a distant cave, hidden from everything and everyone. When it was over, R2 sadly rolled over to find the clones and the others dead, but the little astromech quickly realized that Anakin and Obi-Wan were nowhere to be found. The droid had a bit of hope left, and he knew that if he were captured, Anakin would stop at nothing to find him. So, R2 began scanning the towering prison complex, and he rolled bravely forward.
R2 for the fucking win, man. Best astromech ever.
Circled the spire until his sensors caught a maintenance exhaust port. He rolled along the slick metal, tumbling down into the interior. When he arrived inside, a pair of battle droids were standing guard near a generator conduit. R2 stared right at them. The droids stared back. One tilted its head and asked the other if they should destroy this astromech. Then R2 screamed out, launching a cloud of smoke and sparks from his booster vents. The droids fired wildly into a haze as R2 zipped between their legs, zapping one and ramming the other into an energy pylon. The explosion tossed R2 backward, but the droids were destroyed, and R2 noticed that the generators here were lined with explosives. He continued upward, knowing he was little on time, and finally reached the cell block. R2 scanned through the cells, one after another, losing hope as they were all empty, until finally, he found a signature. R2 accessed the controls, opening the doors, and he found them. Anakin in the containment field. Obi-Wan slumped on the floor. R2 squealed with excitement. Anakin actually smiled a bit, telling R2 he should have known he was still alive. R2 quickly freed Anakin, telling him about the explosives. Anakin would pick up a weak Obi-Wan, and he put together an escape plan with R2. Outside of the Citadel, Dooku was flying his personal solar sailor into the Citadel hangar.
Oh my god, they're gonna like have to team up with Dooku, it's gonna be crazy!
To find Grievous waiting for him, but there was no one here. Dooku found this curious. He moved deeper inside of the Citadel, heading for the main room. In a side hallway, Anakin and R2 looked to each other as Dooku left. His ship was just sitting there. Anakin, carrying an unconscious Obi-Wan, ran over to it, sneaking inside with R2 behind him. Anakin overrode the controls very quickly, taking off out of the Citadel.
No way.
Inside.
Wait, Dooku's fucked. They took his fucking ship, man. He's dead. He's dead.
Who entered the main room, the detonator switch would be flipped. Explosions rippled out from the generator room below, quickly spreading through the entire Citadel. In a panic, Dooku took off running through the halls, explosions rumbling, causing him to fall more than once. As the fires reached the upper levels, Dooku got to the hangar, only to find that his ship was gone. Dooku quickly closed the blast doors behind him, but it didn't matter. The explosions ripped through the door, and as the entire Citadel collapsed in on itself, Dooku died with it.
No fucking
in
way.
space. Anakin punched in the hyperspace coordinates for Coruscant, knowing the planet was about to be under attack.
You know, fucking the city is I don't even know what it's gonna do. You know?
Obi-Wan finally woke up as Anakin told
gonna
him
rage quit.
they have R2 to thank for their survival. And across the galaxy, a ripple in hyperspace would tear open and poured in thousands of CIS warships, bursting through the hidden Nexus route that Grievous now had access to. The CIS fleet led by Grievous came out of nowhere, no warning, and Republic Venators scrambled to respond. Starfighters launched without formation. The space above Coruscant was consumed by turbolaser fire. Grievous watched as the fleet cut straight.
And I'm assuming Palpatine's in his office, right? Like, when he gets the information the whole fucking Separatist fleet is here, he's gonna be like, what the fuck?
To the Republic's unguarded flank.
on?
His ships unleashed wave after wave of missiles, destroying 4 Venators in minutes. On the surface, command of the Republic shouted orders across all frequencies, trying to pull reinforcements from Corellia, Chandrilla, Cato Nemoidia, anywhere. Very quickly, the streets of Coruscant were war zones. Separatist dropships were raining through the atmosphere, slamming into skylanes, unleashing battalions of droids and all sorts of tanks. The Jedi took to the field in groups. Windu led a squad on the east bridges. Fisto led Jedi into the Senate District. Luminara and Aayla Secura, with many knights, defended the streets outside the temple. Every holochannel was filled with distress calls as blaster fire echoed between the skies. Civilians ran for shelter. It was all chaos. And amid all of it, Grievous descended in his own personal shuttle. It sliced through the skyline, followed by his Magna Guards, landing on the executive building's upper platforms. The steel doors would blow inward, scattering guards and clones. Shock T met them first, but Grievous tore through her with overwhelming power, her body crushed beneath his claws. Depa Billaba followed, but her blue blade swinging wildly was caught by Grievous and the Magna Guards, as she too was defeated. Soon, Grievous entered Palpatine's office, cutting through another Jedi, 10 more clones, before deciding he would be arresting the Chancellor. Palpatine
Yo, is Palpatine gonna have to turn Sidious mode?
Palpatine barely moved, calling Grievous a fool. His voice dropped lower as he whispered to Grievous that he is Darth Sidious. Grievous tilted his head, processing the revelation as he stood over Palpatine. The Sith Lord was sure that Grievous would realize his mistake and call off this attack. He didn't know that Grievous already killed Dooku and disavowed his loyalty to Sidious. Grievous would just plunge 2 sabers straight through the Chancellor's chest. Palpatine's face froze in complete shock. His body fell, smoke emerging from the lethal wounds as he died. Outside, Coruscant
I guess Grievous accidentally saved the galaxy, you know?
was burning heavily. Republic forces were fighting blind. Waves of droids advanced across bridges and plazas. Above, the space battle raged with fire and debris, the invisible hand trading blows with the remaining Venators, while Euloran's reinforcements blinked in from hyperspace. As the executive building's alarms wailed, Grievous stepped over Palpatine's corpse, making his way deeper into the bunker systems below. He reached a heavily sealed blast door, and behind it were the Republic's best leaders, Padme, Bail, and Mon Mothma, among others. Grievous...
Can you imagine? It's in a battle, right? It's you know, the electricity's probably gone down, dark hallways in the Senate room. You're sitting in the control, and there's just one blast door, and Grievous is behind that blast door. This motherfucker is standing there, trying to get in. Once he gets in, all hell is loose. Like, fuck me.
Raised 2 sabers, carving a circle through the metal. Far above the planet, a single ship would emerge through hyperspace. Anakin, Obi-Wan, and R2 entered the battle, quickly receiving word that Grievous was in the executive building and no other Jedi are available to stop him. Anakin responded to Windu that they will finish this, and they descended down to the building. In the executive building, Grievous finally cut through the blast doors, but before he could enter and slaughter these senators, Anakin and Obi-Wan would emerge behind him. Grievous was noticeably shocked, and the two Jedi ran in. Anakin was moving fast. Every swing of a saber was vengeance and revenge. Grievous parried with a panic as Obi-Wan joined in. Together, they would drive Grievous back through the bunker room as explosions rumbled across the sky. Grievous began spinning all 4 sabers at once, forcing the two Jedi apart. For a moment, it seemed like he may win, but Anakin had his fury feeding his speed.
I mean, they are both weakened, especially Obi-Wan.
Grievous overextended. Obi-Wan could cut off 2 arms. Rage overtook Anakin. He drove forward, slamming Grievous against the wall, forcing his saber through the general's armor. Obi-Wan stepped in beside him, driving his own blade into Grievous's exposed chest. Grievous screamed out in anger, his body collapsing in an explosion, smoke rising from the heap, and Padme ran to Anakin, pulling him into a hug, saying she heard reports from the Citadel. They said that he was gone. Anakin held her, the exhaustion, grief, catching up all at once. Obi-Wan stood a few paces back, watching the two of them with a weary, tired smile, and across Coruscant, the tides would turn. Without Grievous's command, the Separatist assault would fracture. Their fleets lost coordination. Droids were falling out of sync as command ships went dark. Republic reinforcements poured through the sky, Venators descending in formation to retake the orbit. On the surface, Jedi and clones would rally together, sweeping the remaining droid armies, block by block. By nightfall, the CIS network was unraveling completely. The cost of this defeat would be unbearable. And
they don't even know, like, Palpatine is dead. They don't even know he's Sidious. They don't even know that Dooku is dead. Like,
Grievous, Dooku, and Palpatine all dead, things could finally settle down. In the weeks and months that followed, the Jedi and the clones would work side by side with the citizens of the galaxy, clearing the wreckage, rebuilding the destruction on Coruscant and other planets. The secrets of Palpatine and Sidious would slowly unravel through Jedi investigations. The revelations sent shock through the Republic, but the truth united the people behind the Jedi once more. As Mon Mothma took over the office of the Chancellor, Anakin spent the next year under the guidance of Yoda, Obi-Wan, and Windu, traveling from world to world to mend his dark emotions of guilt, anger, and pain. And though haunted by the loss of Ahsoka and the clones that he'd led to their deaths, Anakin slowly learned
we lost Fives, Cody, Rex, oh god.
Let go of this guilt, honor their memory, with Padme helping as well. When the year came to an end, Anakin was calmer and at peace, thanks to the Jedi and Padme helping him, without the distraction of war. Shortly after, Padme would give birth to Luke and Leia, helping to ignite a new generation in this peaceful era. And folks, that is our story for today.
What a beautiful what if. Honestly, I've got to give this a 10 out of 10. I mean, what an emotional roller coaster this what if was, honestly. A very well written what if. Just, as I said, an emotional roller coaster this what if was. And I really liked it. Very well written. I mean, the action scenes were well written. It was wow. I mean, thought everybody was cooked, man. I thought Galaxy was done for, but no, they managed to get out on top. So great what if, 10 out of 10, honestly, I have to say. Let me know what you guys would rate this what if out of 10 in the comment section down below, whether you agree with my rating or whether you don't, and why.
And that is it for reacting to What If the Citadel mission in the Clone Wars failed. This Star Wars What If is made by Star Wars Galaxy, so make sure to check his channel out. Link in the description, and link in the original video is also down below in the description of this video. Subscribe to my channel as well, of course, as we're trying to reach 1,000 subscribers. And once we do, we will do a face reveal on the channel. Like the video, turn notifications on to be notified about next time I post a reaction video like this. Of course, join our Discord server, link in the description of this video. Join our Patreon, link in the description of this video as well. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this video, guys. Drop a comment as always, and yeah, thank you very much for watching. My name is Mr. Vols, and I hope that you enjoyed this video.
Hey, you didn't watch it? Well, check out this video on the left side of the screen, which is specifically recommended for you, or check out the playlist on the right of the screen, which contains similar videos to this one, made by me, of course. Hey, remember, subscribe.